Hey guys, this is Mitch Price with More Brothers Insurance, and we're getting ready to do episode 2 of #Ride with PBI. So make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and go to our YouTube channel for more episodes. Enjoy.
Mitch Price, what's up?
You need a ride?
I need a ride.
All right, get in, brother. Yep.
Too cold to walk.
I know, man. How's it going today?
It is going great.
Going great. Good. Ready for a little ride?
Absolutely.
Get you to work and talk a little bit about you and a little bit about Lee Kinstle. You up for that?
I'm up for that.
So obviously being, Eric McCracken, great in the community, high energy. What got you started in, GM of Lee Kinstle's owner, Lee Kinstle? What got you started in all that, I guess? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Or?
Well, I'll be 50 in March. So
No way.
30,
I thought you were 39.
39 forever. But about 34 years ago,
It's been that long.
my mom and dad were buying a car at Taylor Auto Sales, and I went with my mom and dad to pick it up, do the paperwork, whatever, and the conversation turned to, do you need an after-school job washing cars? And I was like, sure. And, I played 3 sports at the time, and I was a normal teenager. I wanted to screw around and have fun, but my mom and dad wanted me to make some money, and
They wanted you to get a job,
exactly.
right?
They wanted me to get a job, so
make some money, right?
I started washing cars there after school, and it was just like something that I really enjoyed. So they trained me. I detailed. I did anything, took the trash out, whatever it was.
Whatever it took, right?
Yep. Sooner than later, I kind of got away from all the extra activities after school, started working more, and as I rolled around, I was 18, 19 years old. What am I going to do for the rest of my life? I started selling cars there.
What was your first car? Do you remember?
Pontiac 6000 LE to Phil and Juanita Hotmeyer.
So you know it all. You got the details down.
I
That's
remember
awesome.
that car. It was a 1985 or 86.
Wow.
It was two-tone blue. I don't think they still have it, but it was neat to sell my first car, and I'd never done anything like that. Working directly with Lee was amazing because he was kind of like the Michael Jordan of car sales. He was iconic. He had been there forever, since 1970.
Did every deal.
He knew about cars and trucks and selling cars and taking care of employees and doing things. And I learned a lot from him. I've enjoyed being there. I've worked with great people. I've got to meet a lot of great people.
How many years have you owned Lee Kinstle?
It'll be 11 years in
11
May.
years?
Yep.
What's that feeling to get the keys, to get the, oh man, this is
not all,
awesome. This is nervous.
It's not all fun and games.
It's not all unicorns and rainbows.
It is not. But I enjoy it. I mean, there again, I get to be around the people that I love. Obviously I got a great wife at home, Melody, and 4 kids, and they
great support system.
Yeah,
right?
And she props me up, pushes me out the door every morning, and that's what it takes sometimes.
You're right.
But I enjoy what we do. I think we sell the world's best automobiles in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC.
Awesome.
We've got a really nice customer base, and we love to service people as well as sell them something.
Awesome.
We want to keep them happy long after the sale too.
So what's your ideal car? It could be old, it could be new, it could be used. Like, what if you had to go in at Lee Kinstle's and then buy one car, what would it be?
Wow.
Tough question.
I think having 4 kids, I like to drive a Suburban or a Yukon XL. I like that bigger vehicle that we can jump in and go places and still have 4 foot of room behind the back seat to throw baseball equipment or whatever it is. If I had to own something the rest of my life, I could only get one, it would have to be that. But I like to drive just about anything in a newer car.
Let's shift gears a little bit. So you have 4 boys.
Yep.
Ryan, Jalen, Damon, and Griff.
Yep.
All 4 young athletic men.
Yep.
And competitive, right?
Competitive, very competitive.
Probably 2 or more than the 4, right?
Exactly.
2 or more than the other 2,
oldest
maybe.
And the youngest maybe are a little more outwardly competitive, I would say.
And I've seen the kids grow up in the years, and I've seen that competitiveness.
Right.
What is it like at the dinner table? Obviously, Ryan's off to college right now, but when he comes back, or at Christmas, or what's a typical McCracken dinner like when there's,
we just drove by the place. Nico's Pizza comes to mind, or Pizza Hut. Hey, let's get this, and we put it on the island there in the kitchen, and they all dig in, and it's funny to hear especially how different 19 years old is from 9 years old, but how much alike it is.
Correct.
The oldest and the youngest, Ryan and Griffin, their take on things is, it's almost like they're twins 10 years apart.
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah, just so competitive and so driven
Yeah.
to not only win but to compete.
Correct.
And
You guys play like I know you have like a ping pong table in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
And a hoop.
Yep.
So do they play like a lot of 2-on-2?
There's a lot of 2-on-2 basketball, and it's nicknamed in our household Terry. And
Terry?
Terry. Hey, you want to play Terry? Yeah, they'll go play Terry. And when we hear that, Melody and I do, we know that probably there's going to be some walls with some holes in them and some balls thrown at each other. Yeah, I mean, it is very much.
So it's intense.
It's intense. It's Ryan and Griffin versus Damon and Jalen.
Geez.
And it's.
Has any other, like a sports athlete or a famous come into Lee Kinstle's like, hey, I need a car, or one thing that's in your office that you're like, this is awesome to have?
The one guy that was in my office that signed a baseball probably 4 or 5 years ago, after maybe you and I had spent all weekend with those kids coaching them basketball.
Yeah.
Been a long weekend. It was a Sunday night, and I got a call from a friend of mine that he needed to borrow a van. So Griff and I go to Kinstle's, and it was more like 45 minutes to an hour before a member of Stuart Haas racing team shows up, comes
awesome.
in, and I said, hey, you're here for the car? Yeah, great. Let's get you going. Got a copy of his license. Here's the car we're going to loan you. Went in to make the copy and came back out, and I could see Tony Stewart standing in the showroom. When he saw me, he kind of gave me a half-hearted smile, and I just said, hi, champ, and walked on. I thought, he does not want to be bothered. He does not want to be talked to. Well, little did I know, Griff was about 4 then. He was cruising around the showroom doing some stuff, and he had a baseball. And he's throwing this baseball up in the air, and pretty soon he's over there looking at Tony Stewart in his race shirt. And I know, just knowing Griff, what was going through his mind, what kind of uniform is that this guy's wearing? So he walks up to Tony and says, hey, do you throw left or right? And Tony smiles and laughs and says, left-handed. And so Griff said, I throw right, and started to walk away from him. And Tony looked at me like, is this kid for real? He was just a little guy. And he turns around and says, do you bat left or right? And Tony smiled and said, I bat left. And Griff says, I do too. And he was getting ready to walk away, and he threw his ball up in the air, and with like the fastest reflexes I've ever seen, Tony Stewart snags his ball. Yeah, just snags it out of the air, and Griff gets this look on his face like, why'd you steal my ball? And somebody throws him a marker, and he signs his name on this ball. And there again, I know what's going through my kid's mind was, why are you scribbling on my baseball?
Yeah, why'd you take my ball, and what are you putting on the baseball?
And he gave it back to Griff. And
well, Eric, I'm going to get you back to work.
All right,
I appreciate you riding with us.
I'm glad you didn't make me sing karaoke.
No,
that was my concern.
We won't sing, but next episode we will sing.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you, Mitch.